We are here for a little panel with James Hong, star of television, movies, animation. All right. Part of his animation, right? All right, who's good? Oh yeah, be respectful to take your gum out.
Good example.
Does this thing work? It doesn't work, does it?
Yep.
Does it work?
Yes.
Can you hear me back there? Okay. Well, let's make it easy for me. Just have questions.
Yeah, sure. Who's got questions? Throw your hands up. But like you care. Yes.
Mr. Hawes, you've been in where you went every movie. Is there any actor or actress that you haven't worked with yet that you would want to work with?
Is there anyone, actor or actress, that you haven't worked with that you'd like to?
Stupid question.
You don't have a wish list?
Who do you think I should work with that I haven't worked with? I've worked with
You work with
everybody. Let's see.
Is there one that you missed
Clooney,
out
I
on?
haven't worked with Clooney, you know.
Was there ever one that it was going to happen and didn't, and you regret it?
I think was scheduled, I'm not sure, but at least I wanted to audition for Will Smith's next film. He's interesting, huh? Well, who do you want me to act? Is there somebody that would make a good partner or whatever?
Well, I mean, would you like to be a Jedi? You could be an episode 7.
No. I don't want to work with George Takei. Hello.
Yes, right here in the front.
What are you people doing way in that corner? There's a lot of seats up here, you know.
Yeah, come on up here. You can actually see them from up here.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
Was Big Trouble in Little China as much fun to make as it was to watch?
What?
Was Big Trouble in Little China as fun to make as it was to watch?
Oh, fun to make. It was very hectic because it was low budget for, for such a big film. I think the budget was just like something like 25 million, which is, ridiculous for a big size film like that. Nowadays, if you make that film, it'd be 200 million, I would think, True. So why weren't you there to speak up for me?
It makes a good point. You really dropped the ball on that.
Well, that's an interesting question in the sense that as you probably can see, the special effects in Big Trouble, most of it was not digital. They were actual sets. The fighting, everything in the fighting was real and not on wires, except for that. Peter Kwong's run around that circle, the gate, that was on some kind of wire. But otherwise, everybody did it hand by hand, kick by kick, which is amazing because everything nowadays is on wires, as you well know. So in a sense, you were watching, maybe that's why it was so, I hear they're going back to that method too, doing the real thing now instead of digital effects and digital action. In that sense, everybody had to work 5 times as hard to choreography because it had to come off perfect. Otherwise, it just won't gel. You can't fix it up afterwards. We didn't have that technique. So, when Kurt Russell fired into the ceiling and that dropped down, that was so funny, wasn't that fire? The guy is such a jerk, isn't he?
Right there. How did you get your start in the business? Did you actually set out to do it, or was it just something that came along?
Who told you to stand up?
How'd you get your start, or did you plan for it, or did you stumble into acting?
Let's see. Well, of course, ham that I am, I always was interested in acting and, just performing. I'm sure either you out there have that feeling, or you have children that want to do the same thing. Yeah, you can almost tell an inborn ham, in a way. And the thing that would set that person different from the rest is that when they grow up, do they really pursue it? And then, of course, do they have the talent? I teach acting. My daughter, April Hong, teaches acting. And we constantly watch out for people that have that innate sense of presentation, that charisma, and so forth. In that respect, let me see if I can find it. I just so happen, and now I don't know if you can see it very, I should have a bigger, it's a takeoff on Frankenstein, and that's me in the middle. And you should go to this, either my Facebook James Hong page on facebook.com, James Hong page, or this new website I'm launching, James Hong Films, plural, jameshongfilms.com, and you'll see why I'm doing this film in the sense of just that desire to produce, to act, to direct, and do something that you want to do. In other words, you can quit at this age. I'm 84, and so I can actually quit. And your mouth is open. Do you want to dance? I can show you. Come on up.
Oh, here we go.
I don't know where to read there. I don't know where we can. We better go down there.
Okay, we're coming down. Everybody look out. Yeah, sure, you guys. Try not to go too fast or we'll start a... Oh, speeding up.
Hong, everybody.
No more dancing questions. Any more? Yes, right there. Mr. Hong.
Thank you very much for the dance. What? I'm sorry.
You're known for a lot of smaller roles, or just a million roles in general. Was there ever a period in time at any point where you were just traveling between like a million places at once for like 5-minute roles?
Did you ever travel to a whole bunch of places just for tiny roles in a period of time? Oh, like from one small role to another to another?
Okay, hold that question.
Okay.
It's funny, I gotta go back to this other one. In fact, that breakdancing, believe it or not, many years ago, I came here to Toronto, and most of the cast was from the second city. And I was in it with John Candy at that time, and every week. And I tell you something I hardly ever tell anybody, but I had a scene with him where in the middle, and the thing is not popular at all, it's called Rocket Boy. It's a TV idea they had, but they didn't publicize it. But anyway, the scene was with John Candy in my video store. I own a video store. And he gets perturbed, and we're supposed to fight, I mean, he's probably 5 times what I weigh. I just was like a fly compared to him, he's so big. And when he landed on me, whoo! But he's that kind of guy, he just goes along with everything as if like in Second City and just improv, and it was a lot of fun at that time being here in Toronto. That must have been about, 30 years ago or something, when Toronto especially the Chinatown was very small.
What's funny is I actually work for Second City, and even though Rocket Boy never went anywhere, I've seen it. And as soon as you mentioned Rocket Boy, I just went, like had a flashback to the day that I watched it. It's unbelievable.
Now, how can the people here watch Rocket?
I don't know. I saw it on a tape, on an actual video cassette, which I think you have to hold them up to the sun now. Yeah, it's an old film strip. Now you asked about if he traveled.
Ever any time where you were just traveling a million places at once in a very short amount of time or very short roles?
Small role.
Yeah. A whole bunch in a row, a bunch of different projects going from city to city.
Oh. No, I haven't traveled a lot from city to city. But however, another small, I don't know why, but in Toronto, I've done another small role that nobody ever heard of. It was some, about the Chinese hopping ghost, you know. I forgot the name of it even. But it's somewhere in the remote files. I've done a lot of those films where it's just hidden away somewhere. But when you think of it, after I've done 500 films and TV, you know some of them have to be, oh, thank you. Yeah, and I'm still alive. So I like to, you know, like I say, I can really quit show business in a sense.
I hope you don't.
I've done just about everything.
We don't. Just keep going.
Okay. Are you going to pay me?
We'll pass the hat.
So I just want to do more films that, the kind of films that I think you people, you fans would like for me to do. Look at that website and just keep track of what I'm doing in that film. In other words, basically it's about me as not Frankenstein, but somebody like Honkenstein. And I make a monster, you know. In other words, I've been an outcast and I want to do something with my talent as a monster maker, so I make this monster and it's an Asian Frankenstein. And so I make a girlfriend for this male Frankenstein. And so the male is Chinese and the female was made from parts from 3 girls that attended a rock concert and got trampled to death. And so the parts are different parts of this girl. Of course, she's made out of 3 girls and she happens to be blonde. And so when this Asian monster is finally created and it's my dream son almost, you know. And when I created this girlfriend for him, the girl says, "I'm not much for Asians."
I think you just sold the movie to a whole room.
So anyway, that's the part of the story. The rest of it has to be resolved some way with the townspeople after me, you know, this Asian crazy doctor with these monsters killing a little girl's cat and so forth. You know, they want to kill me and so forth. But it's still being finalized now as the plot. And like I say, maybe if you can tune in, I can tune out to you people as far as telling you what it's about. But that's the kind of film that I like to make. It's funky films that have some kind of fun to it, you know.
Awesome. Yes, right there.
I'm sorry we didn't answer your question exactly.
What rock concert in particular were these women trampled at so they can avoid going to see that band?
Yeah, well, why don't you make it up, the rock concert, and email me. You can email me to replyhong@yahoo.com, all right? And not Yahoo, I mean Gmail. replyhong@gmail.com, and give me a name of a rock concert that you think so, you know.
Then you get to pick the band.
Yes.
And we'll just throw it in the wastebasket, of course.
Here.
You're
obviously have a great sense of humor. I was curious when you were making Balls of Fury, because your character was the funniest in that movie. How much of that was improv on your part?
And to think of it, you know, you appreciate it, and I well appreciate it. But I'm not even on the poster, can you believe that? You know, how unjust, yeah, how unjust it is, you know. And that was a new agent at that time, and she wasn't smart enough to insist on my being on the poster. And so that's the way it goes, no matter what you do, in other words, how good the part is, how much work you put in it. If the breaks are not just right, you don't get mentioned, you get forgotten in many, many ways.
Not forgotten.
Oh, thank you.
No, not forgotten. Look at this.
Well, your question was, what did I feel about the role?
Well, did you do some improv for that role? Was some of that your
Yes, because they didn't know exactly how to treat the role, you know. And when they first met me, Ben Garrett, the director, met me, he said, well, I said, do you want me to wear foggy glasses, you know, eye lenses, or how many have seen Balls of Fury? Whoa! You like the good films.
It's no Rocket Boy. It's no Rocket Boy.
So, actually, it was supposed to be a sequel. We're supposed to go to Korea and play ping pong, but I write in and tell them you saw me here and that you want to see the sequel and want to see James Holland playing ping pong with them. Okay, sure. So I said, well, if you don't have an answer, then I'll just improvise. It's exactly, and I said, what? Remember, you will suck when you are nervous.
Those are words of wisdom we can all take.
Yeah, there was a lot of good lines in there, you know, a lot of words of wisdom in that whole movie. So, I just objectively, I thought the best part of that movie was the development in the beginning of, combing my student to be the best, and then once they got to the tournament, it somehow got lost. And didn't you think so? The real development of the Karate Kid type of thing, it just caught up in all that silly action that didn't mean anything and didn't have much of me in it.
Right there.
Will we see you this fall on any cameos on TV shows? Big Bang Theory, People Versus?
Will we see you in any cameos this fall in TV anywhere, like Big Bang Theory or?
Yeah, well, I did Big Bang Theory, as you know, but yeah, right. And so it would take people like you to write in and say, we want to see James again on that show. They've forgotten me again. Same thing with like Seinfeld. Was one of the top episodes, one of the top 5 of those hundreds of episodes, and I never returned again. So you don't know why. You're just in the hands of the people who handle it. I've done some Disney things where I come back, but those are the kiddie shows like Ant Farm.
The ones that we shouldn't be watching.
Yeah. Well, no. I know you watch them.
I do love Dog with a Blog. Yes, right there.
What's your favorite role and why?
Your favorite role and why? It's a 2-part question.
Favorite role and what?
And why is it your favorite role?
And why? Well, I will have to say it's Big Trouble because and there it goes again. You don't know why that there's no sequel to that. It's amazing. There's people like you and all over the world that loves Big Trouble in Little China, and I don't really know why, but that film just keeps coming bouncing back, and it haunts people. Ridiculous humor, things that don't make too much sense, but it makes a lot of sense. It's just like, you're not put on this earth to get it, Mr. President. out of that mouth of Lopan came a lot of words of wisdom, right? The guy says that I don't get it. Well, you're not put on this earth to get it. That's the whole life. That you can say that one thing and it will apply to everybody on this earth.
But your characters in all the things you've done really have words of wisdom.
That's true, yeah.
You're very wise.
Here's a quarter. Canadian.
Yes.
You want an autograph?
Yes.
Can we hear your famous Seinfeld line?
Can we hear your famous Seinfeld line?
Oh, let's see. Cartwright! Cartwright, telephone for Cartwright. You know answer, so I hang up. And who was Cartwright anyway, right? That was another thing was, I said to the director, I said, well, how do you want me to play this? At Cartwright, and when she gives me the tip, what should I do? I don't think any maker be on earth would not see that it's a $5 bill that the lady's giving you and then give her a special treat, right? How in the world do you play that reaction to that tip? And, right? So I said, well, what should I do? So when she puts that tip down, I improvise, flipping the page and then just covering up the money and say, what's your name? and things like that all the way through that whole episode, ridiculous things that don't make any sense, but I just ignore it and play. I don't know, it's not a dumb head waiter, it's a very intelligent head waiter, but it comes across dumb. Really dumb and stupid, but everything in Seinfeld seems to be dumb and stupid, but it works. It was a great fight. He's a very kind gentleman. I was making another film with Bill Cosby, a series, and I was coming out the door into the patio, and Seinfeld and Bill was sitting there. And the minute Seinfeld noticed me, he got up and said, "Hi, Jim," So that's my gratification in the sense that I've done a good job, and the actors that I so-called supported as a supporting actor recognize the work that I did, Even in Vegas, when I was at the Sands Hotel, I did something with Sinatra, and all these hordes of people were coming out of the restaurant, and I was going in, and he said, "Oh, hi, Jim." I was really surprised because, he's done so many things with people, thousands and thousands, right? But that guy is so smart and courteous enough to say, "Hi, Jim." I don't know how he could remember a name, but that proves the genius of Sinatra, because he could remember lyrics, he could, conduct music and everything. He had that intelligence and talent combined, which made him so great. But he was not a pleasant person for some of the people to work with, as most people will tell you. He's a cracker jack. Someday I'll put all this down.
Yes, when is your book coming out?
I don't know. Anybody here a writer?
We already have a title, Words of Wisdom of Dane Kong.
Leave me your name and
Please do.
don't show up again.
Over there, way over there.
Hi, I'm just curious, how on earth did you get involved with the Call of Duty series?
How did you get involved with the Call of Duty video game series?
Well, as you know, I've been doing Diablo 3 and Warpath and a lot of games. So I think along the way they just recognized what I could do, and I don't know, they just hired me. So I just do those voices, and how many have played Diablo 3? Diablo?
More people saw Balls of Fury.
But it was fun. In doing voiceovers, you get a chance to do it over and over again if it's not perfect, or improvise something. They always do this. This isn't something I've never told people, but and pretty soon the directors pick it up. I forgot, and does he remember any lines in Call of Duty?
Do you remember any lines in Call of Duty?
I know you thanked the American Prime Minister if he did a good job in the game.
You thanked the American Prime Minister?
I'm sorry, American President.
The American President? You thank the American President for doing a good job?
America's Britain.
That's what, he says you thank him. In one of your lines, you thank the American President for doing a good job.
What do I say exactly?
What does he say exactly?
I was just stunned. I saw your face and I'm like, what? And the world just completely went blank.
He was just surprised to see you in the game and wondered how you got involved in it.
Yeah, but what do I say? I want to show you what they
He wants to,
Oh man, I might have
you have a chance to make something up and you're blowing it.
play it now.
Really dropping the ball.
Let's see. I'll just say that the line was, thank you, Mr. President, for doing such a good job.
That was it. There you go.
So the director will say it 3 ways, you know. Thank you, Mr. President, for doing such a good job. Thank you, Mr. President, for doing such a good job. Thank you, Mr. President, for doing such a good job. So that's what happens with Diablo 3 and others. I give them maybe 6 choices, and they're going crazy in the booth. Which one is better, you know? So it's a lot of fun doing the voiceovers because you can do a lot of creative things with it.
And you can show up in your pajamas.
That's true. Or no pajamas.
Or no pajamas. Oh yes, right back there.
I'm sorry, but no more questions. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
The first role I ever saw you in was in Wayne's World 2.
Wayne's World 2 or Wayne's World? Wayne's World.
2, I believe you played Ursula's father.
Ursula's father. He played Ursula's father in Wayne's World 2.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was the first role you had ever seen him in?
Yeah.
So what about it?
Yeah. That's a statement.
In that scene, whenever you're introduced, you have the sword fight with Wayne, and that's honestly my favorite scene. It's still my funniest.
Oh, really?
Did you actually know how
You got
to
a prop sword out.
Yeah. Did you know how to fight with that
So
sword?
give me a prop sword, I'll show you.
Did anybody bring a lightsaber? This is the room for this is the place where someone would have a lightsaber.
Somebody got a stick.
Is it-
What's that?
What's that?
How do you say?
What's that?
What is it?
It's a what?
It's a wall scroll.
It's a wall scroll? Bring it up, Bill.
Anybody got a prop sword?
Wait, am I getting hit? Oh, it's coming down again, guys.
This is at 84 now. You will never marry my girl.
Day 1 of FanExpo. Dear Diary, James Hong used my wall scroll as a sword. Then I went home. So, yeah, that answers the question. I think he knew what he was doing with that sword.
Yeah, I didn't have the devil except one guy.
Oh, yeah?
He was the guy that flew across the room. Remember? As I flew across the room, that's him. If you'll stop action in the middle of his flight, you'll see that it's a different face.
He's a black guy? Is he a black guy?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Awesome. Any other questions? Yes, right over there. Yes, the gentleman with no hair.
I came in late, but I don't know if this question was asked. Were you involved with the original Godzilla movie?
Were you involved with the original Godzilla movie?
The what?
The original Godzilla movie, were you involved?
Somebody over here wants the other fire.
Wanted to know if you were involved in the original Godzilla.
Yes, when they first got the black and white over here, I did, I think about 8 voices in the original black and white. In fact, I was talking to myself in the same room. So it was another experience that, well, I will have to put in the book.
Words of wisdom.
Yeah, they bought that movie. The guy bought it for like $2,000 or $3,000 for the American rights, that black and white, and the rest is history. You know, we should all be so lucky. That thing's probably worth what, 200 million and more.
At least, at least. And there's a follow-up.
Yeah. How many days were you doing those voiceovers for?
How many days were you doing the voiceovers for?
I think 4 hours. We just put down the script to that Godzilla thing. I said, okay, well, let's see the picture of this so that we can loop the voices. And he said, no picture. You just read. I read, it's Godzilla. And they said, no, a little slower, a little faster. And the whole script I read through, and they said a little slower, a little faster, and that was it. It was only a $2,000 movie. I got maybe, in those days, $99 for all the voices, but again, look what it's done. If you look in the black and white, you'll see it.
That's fantastic. Oh, yes, down here.
You talked about your favorite movie being Big Trouble, but what about one of your favorite characters?
Your favorite movie to do was Big Trouble, but what about a favorite character that you played in? Let's see.
Actually, it's a very another obscure movie, and a French movie I did called Vidal. It was never released over here, but you asked me the question, so I answered. It's just a French movie, and I did a kind old man in it. But throughout the whole movie, it was a major role, in other words. And besides, Lily Sobieski was my girlfriend.
I take that role. What's the name of the movie?
Vidal or The Idol. Oh, Vidal.
Vidal. Yes, and you again.
I just want to know, you earlier referred to anti-Asian discrimination by blondes. Would that be the reason that you didn't get a kissing scene with Daryl Hannah?
With whom?
Daryl Hannah.
Oh, well, I wasn't even in the same scene with her. How could I kiss her? Yeah. You're kind of stupid, aren't you? I mean, I wish I was in the same scene. I wish I was in the same scene that she can tumble right into me. That'd be nice, She was great in that scene, wasn't she? Wow.
Right there with the glasses.
How have you seen the roles of Asian actors in Hollywood evolve over the decades?
How have you seen the roles of Asian actors evolve in Hollywood over the decades?
Wow. Yeah, coming back 1 second though, to this Blade Runner, that has to be one of my greatest experiences in my whole life. And it's very gratifying to have done a few among those 500, a few of the classics like Big Trouble and Blade Runner, Chinatown, and Wayne's World, Revenge of the Nerds.
I like that these are all classics, by the way. They're all classics. Chinatown, Revenge of the Nerds.
And here, now watch.
Famous lines. So how have you seen the roles of Asian actors evolve over the decades?
A serious question.
Yes, and very serious.
I think very, very slow for the Canadian and the American, the USA actors, American Chinese actors, or Asian actors. It's very slow. You'll see, it's oddly enough, you'll see the Asians from Hong Kong, like Jet Li and Jackie Chan and so forth, Chow Yun-fat, come over and make it big, but the so-called local boys, very few have really made it, And you asked that question, and through the 60 years I've been in show business, I think just a tiny bit. Because in essence, the Asians are still the silent minority in a sense. You know, they never demonstrate or fight for their rights enough to make it heard. You know, I admire and in a way envy the black people for speaking up and getting the roles. And now they're on every show there is and being huge stars. Why? Because they do voice themselves, right? They're not afraid to speak up versus the Asian people. They're just kind of quiet. I try to do my best to form groups to fight for our rights, and they did do some good, but when I did my service of about 25 years, then when I quit, it all died down again. So it's hard to get people interested in getting going again. Who asked that question? Why did you ask that question?
It's just a curious boy.
I see. Okay.
Yes, right over there, the ghostwriter.
Yeah, so I was wondering, not so serious, but what was it like running around the streets of New York with a banana and a supermodel?
What was it like running around the streets of New York with a banana and a supermodel?
That was in New York, that was in Boston, remember? Yeah. Well, it bombed. Yeah, after working 3 months in Boston, and the role was very big before they trimmed it down to nothing. You know, the avatars were very prevalent in the script, and to see it come out, and you know, having my part cut down, and then again seeing it being a failure in the box office really hurts in the sense that you've done your best, you know, you live with that crew and sets for 3 months, and then, you know, the thing costs, what, 150 million or so, and it's nothing compared to the 25 spent on Big Trouble in Little China. So how can you compare? You know, some things just hit it on the target and a big hit, and people never forget it. And then you spend another 3 times as much or 4 times, and it didn't touch the audience that much. And yet I guess the original comic book, the people are here, I think. Yeah, I think so. You know. I'll have to talk to them and see why it failed.
Sure, right here. She saw it and she loved it.
She saw
This movie. She saw you run it. You saw RIPD and she saw it and she loved it.
Oh. Do you want a refund? Is that it?
Yes, if you want a refund, do I have to give you the quarter you gave me?
Yeah. No, thank you very much. I think most people that have seen it liked it. It was very entertaining, you know. Yeah. And the monsters were gorgeous. But there was, it goes back to this thing. You do your best, and the critics slash it to pieces, and you're through before the film gets out on its first day. So it was quite unfair what the critics did. They just tore it to pieces and said it was rotten. What can you do?
Yes, right here.
I know you were born in the States. Have you ever been in any Asian films or TV series? And if not, have you ever wanted to?
Have you ever been in any Asian TV series or films, and have you ever wanted to be in this?
By Asian, what do you mean?
Like made in...
Made in, like the films out of China.
Made in China.
As opposed to a Hollywood or American production.
Well, actually, I haven't done that many things in China, or, you know, just maybe a handful compared to the hundreds of other things I've done. And they weren't TV series, they were features. They did okay, but, you know, never really was shown here. Of course, the experience is different in the sense of working with the Chinese crew and you know, doing things over there. Like for instance, in Hong Kong when I did that one thing, it's lunchtime or supper time, and the guy comes in with a little stack thing he carries in here, and he unpins it or whatever, that thing that holds the stack, and picks out that little carton about this thick, like a sardine can, and that's your lunch, you know. It's just rice and some salted vegetables and a little salted fish or whatever. but that's the way the Chinese were making films. I hope that it's a lot better now, but the films in those days were just, shot for nothing. Low budget. But now, everything costs more, and none of that has lead in it.
Got time for just a few more questions.
In the back, way back there, yes.
Me?
Yes, you.
Who'd you play in Warcraft?
Who'd you play in Warcraft? Who did you play in Warcraft? Warcraft, who did that?
She must have seen the game. Who did I play? I've done so many things, it's hard to remember.
Do you know? Does anyone? Panda Monk Warrior.
Oh. I've forgotten completely. I just know I did it, that's all.
Yes, green shirt in the back.
Do you see yourself doing any directing?
Do you see yourself doing any directing?
I love to direct. Actually, that's my forte. I can always tell people what to do.
That's honestly, that's an actor's favorite thing. It's an actor's favorite thing to tell somebody what to do. Right here, young man, right here. You, yes.
Do you like live action acting or voiceover more?
What do you like more, voiceovers or live action acting?
Live action, of course, because you never get seen when you do voiceovers. In fact, that's how I almost got started when I went to University of Minnesota. And that was after high school, not being seen in a class play. So there was no drama in University of Minnesota that required an Asian, so I went for voiceover, and I did an audition, or they wanted me to do something, and I remember it went, 3, 5, 4, 5. I smell the blood of an Englishman. I got the role.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
The thing with that is that they wanted me to stay in the radio department. I said, but I'm never seen. No, I don't want to do it. So I got out of there and tried acting live, again.
Ladies and gentlemen, James Hong, thank you so much.